Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am so excited to bring you this new journey of mine, having conversations with you about every topic under the sun over the last 12 months. Of course, we've all been in this pandemic era and experiencing a lot of challenges. So I just wanted to bring a couple friends together to give some advice, to share what they've been challenged with during this 12 months, and just hear from them how they got through it, how they're getting through it, and what their focus is for the future. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
What's happening?
Nothing much.
Oh, good.
You guys on a wet and rainy Wednesday.
Oh, that's not good. Well, first, I would like to introduce the lovely ladies that are joining me today. First, we have Miss Kiana. Hello.
Hey.
Our other guest here is Miss Latrice. Hey, Tracy.
Hey now.
And what's going on, Miss Aisha?
Hey, everybody.
So how's the day been going for everybody except for Kiki with all the rain and the storms that are coming?
It's a good day. Making it through. I'm just so happy for you. Congratulations on the launch of your new show.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to say congratulations to Toi. I'm so proud of you. And I'm happy to be a part of your first show.
Oh,
yeah. Thanks for having us.
Of course. All right, ladies. Well, if we want to jump right in, I know we had a lot of conversations about the last 12 months. And of course, we've all been in this global pandemic era and just trying to make it through and, keep sane. So, of course, last week we just hit the 1 year mark of when the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global impact. And I think we're pretty much all in the same kind of understanding that it's been kind of challenging for some, very challenging for most. We can't even go anywhere into a restaurant or anything if you're still open going to restaurants or coughing in front of people without people thinking that you're contagious. Some people they're choking on their own cough because they don't want to let their cough out. So I know I'm not the only one. I've done that, and I've been around people who have done that. So it's kind of what people are doing today. Every time I get a little tingle in my throat, I'm like, oh, this is not right. What's going on? So what have been some of your coping mechanisms that have helped you through the pandemic? Certain things that, at points when you were down or just needed some type of pick-me-up that has helped you get through. Kiki, we'll start with you.
Well, I remember, like you said, it's been a year now. And I remember the day we were in school and we got the news that we were going to be shut down, thinking it was just going to be about 2 to 3 weeks. And it turned into, a year-long situation. So I've done a lot of things to kind of help me cope, because initially I think we were all just in like, okay, this is going to pass and won't be forever. But then when it got real after like 3 or 4 months, you kind of had to figure out how you were going to go from there. But we spent a lot of family time together. We went on hikes and trails in our neighborhood. We did a whole lot of baking. Thank goodness I didn't get the quarantine 15, but we were probably well on our way. But I baked a lot of banana bread. We made like dessert for all our dinners because I was cooking a lot, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because you're terrified to go out and buy anything. So we were doing a lot of cooking. But just like I said, family time, game nights, hiking trails. I'd never done tie-dye, so I thought it'd be fun to get some shirts and tie-dye and, just things that you kind of thought about doing but never really got around to. So it was, good in that sense that you got to kind of exercise some of those creative outlets that, like I said, you might have had on the back burner, and then you got to do them because you didn't have anything but time. So, and photography, that's something I've always kind of liked, but I started looking at like a photo a day type thing, and they would give you something specific, that an object or something that you had to take a picture of. And so I started doing that, just little things to keep myself occupied and my family occupied.
I love it. You're right about that quarantine 15, because I know in the beginning of the quarantine, I was eating for no reason. Like there wasn't anything else to do, and I would find myself in the refrigerator and I'm like, I'm not even hungry. So I just need to step away. So I totally understand that.
Yes.
What about you, Treese?
Well, I wish that I had been quarantining closer to Kiana because having dessert every day sounds good, but that would not have helped me. My quarantine 15. So I think we at first, similar to what Kiana was saying, we were thinking this is going to be temporary. We tried to make it as fun as possible with little family bike rides and just spending more time at home together. I got sick of cooking. I probably ran out of meals at about week 2. And so I've been struggling ever since then. But really, I think there were a couple of things that helped me cope. Number one was actually getting dressed every day, like getting up and showered and feeling good so that I wouldn't just get down and depressed and feel just so like blah every day. And then I do think that connecting with friends and family has really helped me cope, laughing, finding just reasons to laugh. There was a ton of news that we were able to catch up with. So connecting with you guys through last year helped me more than anything. And then the one little creative outlet that I found was sewing. So it was right at the beginning where they started talking about masks, and we didn't have any in our house, even though my mother, for years and years and years, has had an N95, like a stack of them in her basement. And she's always told me, make sure you have some masks stacked up. Did I have any? No. So I grabbed like some drawstring bags that some sheets came in, hand stitched 4 masks for my family, and really loved it. So I invested in a sewing machine, sewed 100 masks, donated them locally, and gave them to family and friends. And it really has now just turned into a nice little hobby.
That's awesome. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, well, I haven't created a mask in a long time. I've evolved into handbags and shirts and dresses and all kinds of stuff. So I'm teaching myself as I go, learning from YouTube and learning from Skillshare.
Nice. I'm still waiting on my bag.
Yes, waiting on those.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
Oh, okay, that was good. What about you, Ish? How have you been coping through the pandemic?
It's hard to go third because a lot of the things that Kiana and Latrice have been doing, I've been doing too. Like I took Kiana's idea and we did the tie-dye shirts. That was so fun. And a lot of bike riding, like Latrice said. And I couldn't believe we had a broken bike. My bike broke. And I was going to get another one, but you could not find bikes anywhere. So I got someone to come over and fix it, long story short. But a lot of bike riding, that was fun. A lot of outdoor activities. And just spending more time with my family, with my daughter, playing games like Family Feud and Uno, all the old school games. And another thing is I went to parking lot church because, y'all know how much I love to go to church. And when we couldn't go to church, I was very sad. But when we started the parking lot church, that really helped me and gave me, a reason to, get up on Sundays and get dressed and go. Although I don't dress up anymore because I'm in the car, but I love my parking lot services, and I noticed that I've been praying a lot more too, so that's good. And during the shutdown, we were working from home 2 days out the week, and then once the shutdown started, we started working from home full time. So I love that, and I'm so grateful that I can, work from home and be safe. So that's how I've been coping, and of course, every Friday, I would look forward to meeting with you all. And I just enjoyed all the Zoom parties that we had, our spa days and our fashion shows that we had. And all of that was so fun. I think it drew us closer, because with us all living in different states, and,
that was the goal. Like, because, we've been friends forever, but as you grow older and start families, you kind of go your distance. But I felt like whenever we connected, it was like, we had just seen each other yesterday. So it was on my heart to just like, let's reach out and, see what could become of this. And I never anticipated that it would, take off like it did. Like, like you said, everybody, we look forward to it. We have themes and topics, and it's just been so enjoyable to kind of, we know each other, but to get to know each other again, as adults.
Yes, definitely.
Very great. One more thing I wanted to share about what I was doing to cope. I forgot. Because like a lot of things we mentioned were like fun, but like Latrice said, to kind of keep yourself out of that gloom and feeling of depression or anxiety, I found like my mind was racing throughout the day, and then at night it didn't help because I was laying down. So scrolling the internet, like I'm sure we all do, I found these it's like a form of sound wave, not really therapy, but I don't know, sound waves, and it's called binaural beats. And it plays a different tone in your right and left ear. And it kind of, I don't know, tricks your brain, and it causes like a relaxing sensation. Once I discovered that, I was sleeping like a baby. And, I find myself when, I'm having those days where your thoughts are racing or it's kind of hard to settle down. I put on my ear pods and listen to that. And like, I swear, like in minutes, you're relaxed and I'm off to dreamland.
Oh, that sounds nice. I'll have to get that information from you too, so we can share it.
And Kiana, I found that the sound of rain too. Put on the YouTube videos with the sound of rain. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Those were life hacks you were supposed to bring about 18 months ago.
Yes, exactly. Well, unfortunately, one of the things that you all mentioned is being home with the children, because due to the state of emergency, that prompted all the schools and childcare facilities to shut down. So parents and kids were home all together. What have been your children's biggest challenges from remote learning? What did they have to overcome, and how did you help them overcome that? Latrice, we'll start with you.
Well, I have two boys. One's in second grade, one is in fourth grade. And I think the idea of being online at first was kind of fun for them. Again, when we thought it was going to be temporary, not having to go into school. I don't think they realized, though, how much they were going to miss their friends over time and the social aspect of being online. And again, in the beginning, for last school semester, it was a lot of printouts. And so that was really hard for them to get used to. It was sort of I'm at home, I have all of these printouts. It was hard on us to have to try and return those things. This semester, where they've had the opportunity, the time to get everything truly virtual, it's just been a matter of getting them to pay attention for those long periods of time when they're on a computer instead of face-to-face learning. So, we've just made adjustments to make it as comfortable for them, finding our spaces within the house where we can focus, we have quiet, and, they're not disturbed. And I think that's probably been the number one challenge, just getting them their attention span to last long enough to make it through the school day.
Yeah, I can totally get that. Aisha, what about you?
Well, I have to say that I'm so proud of my daughter, because she really took this transition very well. So she showed me that she can really adapt to change, and she has kept her grades up. She's still an honor roll student, and she's on the honor society. So she kept that momentum going online, and I'm just so proud of her. She helps the teacher, and she's just, I can't say that it was a challenge for her, because I think she really liked it, to be honest.
That's awesome.
She's like, I'd rather be at home than go on a class, and I could just get up and wear what I want to wear. I don't have to get dressed. I totally get it.
But she still gets dressed, though. Aaliyah is serious about doing her hair and getting dressed. So. All
right, I'm not mad at that. Kiki, what about the boys?
One way or the other. In the beginning, initially, like we said, when we thought it was temporary, it was kind of exciting. It was new. You just kind of join on. There was a little bit of structure, but not too much. But then our school kind of really transitioned well, and our district transitioned well once they saw that it was going to be a long-term event, and they set up a platform where the students could log on, and the teachers were able to upload materials, and they had some live sessions, and then we had one day where you're just kind of working independently. But the structure of it was difficult. I have a 16-year-old, so he was able to manage a little bit better than my 9-year-old, because we all were working from home. So my oldest son was in his bedroom working at his desk. Our youngest son, we started him off like that. But we realized he needed a little bit more supervision. So we put him in the dining room across from where my husband was working, and then I took over the basement. So yeah, we're all scattered about the house, straining our internet connection. And it was tough because, you're trying to do a job, but at the same time, you want to make sure that your child is doing what they're supposed to do. So you're kind of torn. And it's like, oh, if he had a question, like, wait, don't come down here, I'm online with my kids. But then you're like, this is real life. We're at home. If you have a question, it's okay to for me to take a break or excuse myself, or you can come say hi to my group of kids or whatever. So just trying to work around that structure and, what are the limits? Where everybody was working from home, or as some people call it, living at work, the boundaries are kind of blurred. So, it was difficult, but you get adjusted after a while. So it just came with time, just kind of learning what works best for everybody. But it was definitely a struggle.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like everybody was in the same boat. It wasn't just one family over here or a neighbor down the street. Like everyone was dealing with the same thing at the same time. So everyone had to adjust accordingly. And, it was a little more difficult for some people. So
yeah, and it's just, you have to give yourself grace. Like some days are good, some days are not so great, and that's okay. But I think, for them, it was difficult because they're social children. So, just not being able to interact and see their friends on a daily basis, or, if you have a question, trying to get something answered, especially for my younger son, like, he needs a little bit more guidance and structure in terms of, learning. So it was a little bit more difficult for him.
Yeah. We also had to let the kids, do a little bit more online playing. I mean, video games that allow them to connect with their friends online were just, while we wanted to limit it, at the same time, I'm like, well, they don't have social interaction. So this is the way that they're going to get it. And so we would let them play in the evenings during the school week. And we started out feeling guilty about it, but then we're like, well, we can limit it, but they need some social interaction. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, always. So just to piggyback off of that, we talked about the kids and them having to adjust to virtual learning, but also, like you said, Kiki, it was kind of an adjustment for parents who aren't normally working at home with their kids also being at home. So I remember reading an article, I think it was in Time magazine, and they were talking about around August and September timeframe, there were about 865,000 women that had left the workforce. And at that time, there were still a number of women that were contemplating either moving to part-time work or just stepping away altogether. Of course, because it was an increased responsibility, increase in stress, with having to work full time from home and also having to help their children in the next room downstairs. However, they were also virtually learning. So just like you said, Kiana, some kids are older and they can manage on their own, but some of the little ones, they need help, just like they would be in school getting help from their teacher. The mother, you now become that homeschooler for them. So as you all being working mothers with school-age children, how have you adjusted during this pandemic? How have you made an effort to maintain a work-life balance with your children at home and still being responsible for your day-to-day work? Aisha, we'll start with you.
Well, I first and foremost, I want to say thank God for my mother and my father, because they help out so much with Aaliyah while she's in school. So I'm thankful for them. I don't know what I would do without them. I don't know how a parent could manage working from home and their kids. I've always had my mom and my dad to help me with that. So I'm thankful for that.
Amen. Kiana.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you call my name. It was a struggle, like I said, because you do, you want to maintain your ability to be professional and efficient at work, but at the same time, your children come before all that, but you have to be able to work and provide for them to take care of them. So it was a balance that nobody had to, try to do before. And, thank goodness that I have a compassionate, loving partner, who stepped up to the plate, and it was like not all on me, but, he helped out with homework and making sure the kids were online too. So we just kind of like teamwork, when I was doing something, if he had, that was up there and had the time to help out, he would do it. And then vice versa, I would pick up when we when he needed me to. But it's a delicate balance, and it does get tricky. And again, you just have to be mindful and give yourself some grace. But I like the fact that I was working in the basement as my office, because when I was done, I try to set a time limit for myself and say, okay, I'm done with my online sessions and whatever paperwork I might need to do. And then I'm going to stop at this point. And then just going upstairs, just having that transition from spaces kind of reset me, like, okay, so now I'm not working. I'm home mode, mommy mode, me time, whatever I need to do to kind of separate myself from that, because it does, like I said, get sticky with the boundaries, because you're at home and you're answering emails, but you're trying to cook. So you have to kind of set some boundaries for yourself. And like I said, just having that difference of being in a different space, a whole different room in the house kind of reset me to, okay, now I need to focus on home.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have that separation where you can just have peace of mind to say, okay, right now I'm in mommy mode, but then I got to get back to my job. And then when I'm in work mode, then, if it can, mommy mode needs to be, put on hold for a minute. Trees, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I really respect and agree with everything that has been shared already. I think that my heart goes out, my heart and highest respect goes out to all the working mothers out there, the women who have had to prioritize and rebalance and reset their whole entire lives in order to make their households work, and for them to, remain employed and a productive employee. Or business owner. So I do really, really appreciate my husband as well. He has taken on the responsibility of just naturally helping out where he could, not just when I wasn't available, just anytime he could, with the kids. I think I had to find the no in me every day, right? Just to be able to say, no, I'm not going to give up my lunchtime for a meeting that you want to have. Your urgency is not going to become my emergency. I need to go make lunch for my kids.
Right.
Or, really having to block some time during the day if I needed to step away. I started adding like a signature on some of my emails, like I'm answering this after work hours because it works for me. And maybe I had to take a break during the day, but you don't have to respond during this time. Just to show others that I respected their flexible working schedules that they may have had to make as well. So it's definitely been a matter of just, I have to set what's important to me. And if, taking care of my children in my home, that's where I'm at. I have to prioritize that. I will block the time. And then I will also let them know it's important for mommy to stay employed. So,
Yes.
I need my time.
Right.
We know, they know when they see my big work headphones on with the red, light on, don't talk to me. So it's locked. So yeah, we've I think worked together, but it's just I think it's not easy to do, and I can understand why women may have just said I can't do it all, and so I'm going to make a choice.
Yeah, but clearly they're choosing their family, which no one can be mad about.
Right.
Get it. Okay, ladies. So as we look forward to the future and somewhat thinking if this is going to become the new norm with the mask wearing and the social distancing and the 50% or 75% capacity when you go out. I know yesterday, I think as far as yesterday, there were approximately 111 million doses of the vaccine that have been administered so far in the U.S. So 39 million of those, which is about 12% almost of the population, are fully vaccinated. So let me hear what your thoughts are on the COVID-19 vaccine. Are you guys gonna get vaccinated? Have you already been vaccinated? Personally, right now, I don't have plans to get vaccinated, but that's just me. I just want to hear what your thoughts are. Kiki?
Initially, I was a little hesitant, probably like so many of us. It's a new virus, and I just was, scared. Like, I don't know what this vaccination entails. What is it going to do? So I was very skeptical at first, but working in education and seeing the toll that the virus has taken on educators, how it's, shut down schools and just kind of changed our lives completely I became a little bit more open to it. And as an educator in the school setting, it was made available to us, a little earlier than most people. And I decided when, it became available and they explained it a little bit more to us, I felt comfortable going ahead and getting vaccinated because I would like to return to whatever our new normal is going to be and to visit with, family and friends and just kind of, put an end to this and get myself protected so that I can, try to live as normally as possible in these times. But I have gotten my first dose and I get my second dose in April. I didn't have any, serious side effects besides my arm, was heavy and kind of numb a little bit, but similar to a flu shot. So I just, trust in God and trust in medicine and, what they're saying in terms of, how it's going to protect us and just go from there.
All right. Latrice, what about you? You going to get it? Have you gotten it?
So I have not gotten it yet. Where I live, I can register, but I'm not eligible for an appointment yet. So I do intend to get it. I'm in favor of anything that's going to help us, any intervention really that's going to help us get to a more normal way of living. I think we're all going to appreciate being able to move about a little bit more freely than we have been. And I miss, being social gatherings. I miss being around family and friends. I do have more family now that are getting vaccinated. I don't want to be the only one in the room that doesn't have it, to be quite honest with you. But I also really enjoy traveling. And I just heard on the news this morning that 2 of the major airlines might require you having the vaccine to travel. So I don't want to be limited. And like Kiana said, I will just be praying and trusting in God that it is safe and effective.
I like that. Miss Aisha, what about you?
Here I am, third again. But Latrice, when you said you didn't want to be the only one not vaccinated, my cousin has a requirement for the next holiday gathering that if you don't show your vaccination card, you can't get into her house. So
wow.
I guess I'm going to have to get it because I love being around my family too. And I just, I'm the type of person that likes to watch and see what happens first. So I've been watching people, and a lot of people that I know in my family and also at my church, they're all getting the vaccination and they're fine. They may have had some symptoms where they got sick for like 1 day or so, and then they're fine after that. So I feel like I think it is our turn now. I'm not in the education system, so I had to wait. But I think it is our turn if y'all want to like piggyback on that. But I think I can go and get it now. It's open to ages 16 to, I forgot the highest age, but it's open to us now. So I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, if you have some pre-existing conditions or things, But I think they're going to open it up to everybody eventually. Like whoever wants it, I think that's coming soon. Whoever wants to get it,
like I said, by May 1st.
Yeah.
I'm still a little nervous about it though.
Yeah, that's to be expected though. Like we've never gone through this. We don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So if it makes you feel, more comfortable being around your family, especially if you can't get in the party without it, Aisha.
What else? I have to show my vaccination card.
What are you supposed to do? But yeah, that makes sense. So as we wrap up, ladies, I think we can all express or understand, obviously, what we've gone through over the last 12 months have been very challenging, but not only were we in the midst of a global pandemic, but we were experiencing heightened levels of social unrest during this time. We had a historical president election, and most recently with the insurrection at the United States Capitol, you kind of thought like, oh my gosh, is there any end to this? But as we look back and look forward for the future, what has been some of the high points that have come out of the quarantine for you? I know for myself, just like you ladies mentioned in the beginning, it's just being connected with you ladies every week on our call. So regardless of those conversations go for hours into the evening. So I was so happy, Kiki, when you sent out that initial text and just wanted everybody to get together because, we talked to each other all individually, but never got together like this in a very long time. So that definitely was a high point. And just, certain things just make you take a step back and make you realize what's going on. And, this was a time, I think, for most people to slow down a little bit. To take a breath and just kind of reorganize, reset, write down some goals at the beginning of the year, set your goals to paper so they can become reality, which this show was one of those goals that I shared with you ladies that we wrote down. So you guys set the fire. So here we are. I remember hearing one person that said, if you see something and you want it, but you sit back and wait, everybody else around you is going to keep going. While you're just sitting there, people are making things happen. So why was I just going to sit around? What's the worst that could happen? So that was my high point. So I want to hear from you. Like, what was your high point? So Aisha, so you want me third? I'll start with you.
One of my high points was like yours, connecting with you all every weekend. That was a big silver liner of the pandemic. And another high point was just, like I said, being able to work from home full time, because at first it was 2 days out the week. Now it's full time. And I'm happy about that. That was a high point as well. So those are mine.
Awesome. Kiki?
Oh, just kind of taking a step back and, realizing that life is short and you don't always have tomorrow. Like you said, you got to kind of dig deep and go for what you want now because, tomorrow is never promised. So that kind of really hit home with me, and just, that connection and realizing how important your family and friends are. Like, you want to know how much something means to somebody, take it away. And so to not, it's one thing when oh, we're busy, I'll talk to my family, my friends on this day, whatever. But to know that you can't like physically see them in person, that's hard. So just kind of taking advantage and holding your loved ones close and appreciating, the things that you have. Because, a lot of people are not blessed to have all their family members or to still have a job. Like, we've gone through this pandemic and we're all still employed. We still have a roof over our head. So just, a sense of gratitude, just being appreciative of the things that you do have. Because, we are all, trying to be successful, productive citizens. And it's easy to think about, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I could go here. But again, just expressing gratitude for the things that you do have.
Yes.
Amen. Latrice, what's your high points?
Yes. So I'm so glad you asked this question because there were a ton of low points last year for me. I had some losses in my family, some deaths, and it was really important actually to just keep reminding myself of the blessings. So I started gratitude reflections last year, journaling. I forgot to say that as one of my coping mechanisms. I have always my entire life journaled, and that continued. So really just capturing some of the things that I was really thankful for. You guys were on in there a lot. I'll just let you know, because this was just something to look forward to every single time we got together. It just filled me up so much to be able to see your faces, to be able to laugh with you. Thank you, Kiana, so much for starting that. This Toi, your high point is my high point. The fact that we talked about it not even too long ago, and to see this come to fruition is a high point for me.
Yes.
And then as you were talking about just the civil unrest and everything, I think we've experienced a lot in our lifetime. So to be able to see everything that happened last summer, millions of people around the world come together, and then it sort of land in the first Black female vice president. That was like something we were all celebrating together. Like it was just, there were a lot of high points, and I just continue to try and remind myself of how thankful I am for, in all of the darkness, there is just so much light and so many blessings to count. So thank you, Toi, for asking that question.
Oh, you're welcome. Amen to all of that. So I look forward to there being a lot more high points in 2021. We all had our vision boards. We all wrote down our goals for the year. So we're going to keep each other accountable and check mark those items off. And we'll have more updates as the year goes on. But I just want to thank you, ladies, for joining me for this first episode of Let's Talk About It with Toi.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So until next time, I love you all. Peace and blessings.
We love you too.
Love you too. Woo.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.